All right. Good evening, everybody. You're here for the First Tuesdays, Liberated Nurse Entrepreneur First Tuesdays coaching session. And we'll go for an hour. And although I can only see two of you on the screen, there are at least two more here. And if that's fine, you can feel free to just watch and listen. You can join in. This is really informal and very much whatever serves you. So what we do here is answer questions about business building, business development, how to get started, how to get improve what you're doing. Any topic like that is just fine. And so we answer questions, we do celebrations when we've had a breakthrough or a success of some kind. And I'm happy to do a little coaching as well. So, just speak up, let us all know what you need. And everyone's welcome to contribute too. It's not just about me. I'm happy to give my 2 cents, but everyone has input and valuable perspectives. And one question might spark another one too. So we just take it as it comes here. Okay. So who would like to start out tonight? Who has something on their mind?
I'm just kind of listening in to start. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, Josie, that's great. Thanks for letting us know. Let me see who the other person is that is not on the screen. Okay, there's someone named Sara that's joining us. And she has her camera off also, so that's fine. And I think she missed my introduction, but just briefly, Sara, what we're doing here is answering questions that you might have about your business or getting ready to start a business, either one, and also celebrating insights and breakthroughs, successes, getting support. So questions, support, and celebrations are the main things here. And here comes Sara. I think I see you on your screen. You're muted though. There you are. Hi, Sara.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about the camera.
No problem. So Jan and Maria are regulars. They're here all the time. And so I've asked the people that come all the time to kind of take the back seat, giving room for the people that are new to go first, if someone wants to go first. So Sara, do you have anything on your mind that you'd like us to discuss?
Not a whole lot. I was just kind of hoping to hop in here. This is the first time I'm joining. But more to pick little bits and pieces of, each of your experiences and journeys.
Great.
Because where I am, I'm in the very, very beginnings of thoughts of starting my own business as a doula, actually. I was an RN in a previous life, became a mom, and I'm still doing the mom thing full time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to move into a more holistic type of care. And so I think moms and babies are just really my niche. I really have a heart for that. And so I wanted to start off offering doula services, most likely postpartum doula to start off with, just because my schedule with my kiddo is just, I'm like the main caretaker. We don't really have a lot of help. So it would be difficult for me to do labor with a mom. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And there's also an option of working with another doula that will do the labor piece.
Great.
But so I'm just kind of in like the very beginning steps of that and not sure where to start.
Okay. Well, you're in a good place here to come to this, because we love to help nurse entrepreneurs who are starting out. And I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
So I heard you say you were a RN in a past life. Does that
Yes.
mean you've let your license go, or are you just not working in direct care, or what does that exactly mean for you?
I haven't let my license go. It is, I guess, right now on pause. So I'm not doing active patient care.
Mhm.
In the state that I'm in, they give you the option of I don't know where everybody's from, but in New Jersey, they kind of allow you to be in that pause for I believe 5 years,
Mhm.
and then you have to retest and do all that stuff. So
Mm.
yeah, so I believe it's gonna be like 1 year that I've been on the pause, so I haven't technically renewed my license.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. And so you're in New Jersey. Um, by the way, I'm in Kansas. Jan is in Kansas. Maria is in Oregon. And Josie, where are you?
Gig Harbor, Washington.
That's right. Right. And I saw that Oyen joined us. And Oyen, I think you're in the Kansas City area.
Right. Yeah, I actually practice out of Kansas City, in Missouri and also Kansas.
Okay, right, because it's right in between, kind of on the border.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so that's who's here tonight. So you're holding down the East Coast, Sarah.
Okay.
It changes, every time we meet. There's different
Sure, yeah.
pieces. Well, I like your idea. I definitely think there's a need for RNs who are doulas. I live in a community where there's quite a few midwives and doulas around.
Okay.
Not every community is like that, but it's a visible and respected path here. How is it in your community for that?
It was troubled in the years past. I will say that. But with our previous governor, I'm not sure if he's up for reelection. His wife has actually done, First Lady has actually done extensive work to open up avenues for maternal health, maternal child health, to get more funding for research in that area, and which is really exciting, to allow doulas to be to bill through Medicaid.
To build their
So
what?
to bill through Medicaid.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, which was not, and and doulas usually you would have to pay out of pocket, and
Yeah, that's huge. A
this,
huge breakthrough.
yeah, so and I've worked, and I did a lot of my certification with mostly immigrant women in the area of Trenton, which is a very impoverished area here in Jersey. And most of them rely, on emergency, what they call emergency maternal care.
Mhm.
And so that kind of opened the doors for them to also have doula services, which was really cool. So
Yeah.
it's and that it is progressing. So I'm hoping we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's good to hear. So you said you know one doula already that you could team up with?
Yeah, I know of a few, and I haven't asked them to team up yet, but that was a thought that I had until I'd be able to do the labor portion.
Yeah, I think that's good thinking. Are you part in a network of doulas and midwives and maybe nurse practitioners, or, you know, a constellation of providers that could
Am I
for
connected
support and
with
network? Yeah.
different providers? Yes, just
Okay,
through
good.
my different previous jobs. So
Okay.
yeah, I would say probably the exception is like where I'm currently living. But in North and South Jersey, for sure. So
Okay.
I would have to make more of, maybe more network like in my immediate area.
Okay, but they're there and you know how to reach them if you
Yeah.
wanted to. Okay, good. And then in your previous work as a RN, direct care, did you work with this population? The labor and
Ooh. I fell.
problem.
Sorry.
Postpartum and labor and delivery population?
Yes, I was a maternity nurse for 8 years.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I think you are set up well to work with this and to build a foundation. You've got some of the big pieces in place, and those would be, you've got the education, the experience, the passion. You know how to reach the network of professionals. And I'm guessing you also would have some idea. We didn't explore this, but I'm guessing you would have ideas about how to reach the actual women who you want to give services to.
Yes and no.
Okay.
And that's probably where I would struggle because I don't know about everybody else here, but being a nurse does not equate to being business savvy.
Right. That is
Which-
100% of us when we start out.
So,
The only exception is if somebody's grown up in a business savvy family. Okay.
right, which I
But
did.
most of us have not. No.
So that's kind of where I get stuck, like I know how to do the nursing. I know how to do the doula thing. Like I got that. But how do I get clients? How do I advertise? How do I market myself? And I'm not big on social media.
Yeah.
So even starting that out kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for being so transparent and sharing so much, because now we can really help you. I have some suggestions, and I'm guessing that Jan and Maria will too, and maybe Oyen and Josie. I'm not sure. But I'll give you a few suggestions and we'll hear from some other people, okay?
Thank you.
You betcha. The first thing is that the first steps don't involve any marketing. Okay. And of course, you would think about doing that because it is really essential, and it is something that nurses just don't have any idea at first. So it's sort of looming out there as a big thing for all of us at the beginning.
Yeah.
But there's some really important steps to do before you get there. And if you do the steps, then the marketing is going to be almost like a natural next step.
Okay.
Okay. And so we go into this in a lot of detail in the Liberated Nurse Business Incubator, but I'll give you some of the highlights in this because I think it not only will apply to you, it might apply to others on the call too. So the first one is to position yourself in a place or in a way that you can talk to the audience that you hope to serve.
Okay.
Okay. A great way to do that, if you need to make some money, in the short term while you're getting your business going, a nice way to do that is get a job, either a full or a part-time job, where you would have frequent contact with postpartum women.
Okay.
Okay. And you're just going to get, your job's going to pay you while you're talking to them and listening to them and kind of doing your market research. That's the idea.
Okay.
Okay. And we have a script of the key things that are important to be in that conversation. But the overall is you're just trying to learn, being curious and learning about what do they need? What are they afraid of? What resources do they have and not have? You know, it's like little mini assessments
Okay.
to find out their situation.
Okay.
And then from that, after you've talked to several, you're going to start seeing patterns emerge of needs and things that they want that they don't have. And to
Okay.
use that information to put together what you offer and how you talk about your offer.
Okay.
Okay. So it's all about, like, it's not at all about who you are and what you have to offer. That kind of comes later, or that's just lives inside of you. While you take the first steps are all about finding out about people beyond the surface. You know, we have found, most of us in healthcare, when we're working with with people, we kind of see the surface, but when we get in their homes and around their environments, we see many more layers of what they're dealing with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's really important to have those kind of conversations where you're mostly listening and providing safety for them to tell you what's really, you know, what they need and what, like I said, and what they're afraid of.
Okay.
I'll pause and feel free to jump in and ask questions, for your clarity, Sarah.
Okay.
But I'm going to see if Jan or Maria wants to add anything to those first steps.
Well, I'm excited to see you, Sarah. It's been a while, and it's wonderful to see you on here. I'm so glad you're, I guess, getting a part of this community and seeing what's going on. So, how's your little boy?
Good, 18 months and acting like an 18-month-old. Yeah, but he's
Normal.
so cute and he really is a joy. He really
Good.
is. Yeah.
Good. I don't know your husband's job, so I don't know if you could what Sharon said about the possibility of maybe doing a part-time something where he could take care of your son, or you have some other family around or anything like that you could do some swap babysitting with. And even I was thinking even going to moms and baby events. You've got an 18-month-old. Have you gone to anything with him that would connect you with other mothers?
Yes, a few things. But that's something, thank you, that really helps actually. Because the population that I worked with may not necessarily be the one that I'm going to continue with. So it's a drastic change for me going from a low resources, impoverished population to now middle to high income moms with jobs and fully insured. It's very different. So thank you, Jen. I think that may be my next step, is that I have to get to know that mom.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a job. It can be just events. It could be volunteer. It could be whatever is easy for you to access this population.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you. Mm.
I don't know if I have much to add other than I think you're already doing a great job, like bringing really good questions. And I really, I heard you say you're kind of clear and like you being aware of what your availability will be and like kind of your energy because you are also a full-time mom. And so I think those are things to keep in mind as you're crafting your
Yeah,
business and stuff.
yeah,
It all matters for
yeah,
sustainability purposes,
yeah.
right? So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you're already, yeah, on a great track for taking those into consideration. And knowing as your kiddo gets older, things can
Yeah,
shift or whatever as life
right.
happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and don't
that's
get
really
bogged down
helpful.
by like the social media and all that kind of stuff. None of us like it. And you don't even like so so uh yeah, I think coming to these things and asking the questions and then yeah, talking to as many people as you can in your audience that you want to serve will
Yeah,
what your next steps will be.
right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jan and Maria. Now, Maria is a mom of a young, her son's not as young as yours, but
He's almost 8, but good Lord.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
she knows from experience how you have to really look out for your own energy and not overdo and not look at somebody else and how they're doing it and think you have to do it the same way.
Mm,
That's a recipe for disaster sooner or later. She may as well just really kind of take your time, feel into what's realistic for you.
yeah, I've learned that since becoming a mom, what my limits are, and they're not the same as they used to be. So that really resonates for sure.
Great. Is there anybody else on the call, Josie or Oyen? Do you have anything to share with Sara?
That's like an area that I have no real expertise in as far as like babies and moms and stuff like that, other than um, one other, because of yoga, sometimes maybe going to yoga classes where it's moms and toddlers and stuff like that, that's potentially another target market, I, I guess. Um,
Nice, like baby and me yoga.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Or even like maybe connecting with, like particular, I mean, like fitness centers or YMCA's where they do have, um, different childcare things. And so they have moms and kids. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one for my township. Strangely, I think just the population is older, and so the activities around here are much more geared towards older kids, like school age kids. There's not a lot of stuff for like young toddler and babies, and it's just
Hmm.
I think that's partially why I've struggled
do
to
you
connect with other moms.
do you connect with any like daycares or anything like that?
No, my kiddo's been home with me, so we
But I
don't
mean,
do
as
the
far as
daycare.
like potential clientele,
No, I didn't think about that.
you kind of got to go where the potential
Right.
clients are at. And so I would think daycares, when you have parents that might have one, but maybe they're looking to have more.
I didn't think about that. Thank you, Josie. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good idea, Josie.
You're welcome. Because there's a neighborhood where like the local Y is here, that they just built a new like little elementary school, and there's a whole like 2 or 3 different subdivisions maybe 4 subdivisions that have gone in around that whole area.
Mm,
So, like even realtors,
yeah.
could be a potential connection, because like again, all of these houses are going towards families, because there's the Y, there's Costco, there's Home Depot, there's Target, there's all of these houses, and so there's a couple of daycares that are in that area as well. So that's what kind of makes me or even some of the maybe some of the we also have like a consignment shop here where there's like they're very picky about the things that they'll reconsign, but it's all oriented towards kid stuff.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, there are a few places in mind that you're mentioning. Thank you.
Okay. So good. I think you got some good ideas of where to start.
Yeah, I did. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Does someone else have something on their mind that they'd like to bring forward tonight? Either, I'm thinking especially, I'm inviting Josie and Oyen. Do either of you have something
Well,
now that you'd like to share?
yeah, I mean, for myself, I'm I feel sort of perpetually stuck, because my day job, I'm a nurse, but I only in the role that I play with the organization is I do nurse delegation classes, but I also teach all the other classes. So I work for it's an organization called Catholic Community Services, and so they teach the curriculum for home care aides to get their certification. And they also offer classes for nurse delegation for home care aides to be able to do certain tasks, as you probably know. So my status is on call, so I never know what my schedule is going to be. I mean, I can go from 12 hours a week to 42 hours a week.
Ah.
And sometimes I'm on Zoom, and sometimes I travel 2 hours one way. So so it's really, it feels very difficult to get any traction with anything. And so the area that I really want to focus on, though, is it's with combining yoga and nursing. And I also have a 30-year background in massage therapy, so I'm kind of a look at the gate, try to figure out what's wrong with you, how can massage and yoga help you or assist with your recovery. And I also have my health coaching certification, so I'm a little bit, I have multi-talents, but I also feel a little stuck in trying to develop anything other than basically some online classes where they're, and I want to say donation based, because if I can't make it, they're not out anything, right? And one of the other teachers that I have, that's what she does, is that she makes the suggestion, and so far it's worked for her. But so that's kind of my dilemma.
Yeah,
And there's more nuts and bolts and pieces in there too, but am I unique? You have more experience in this than I do, so tell me probably not.
well, I think you have a wonderful skill set that is very holistic, coming from different angles. You've got the coaching, the body work, and the yoga gives anybody that has trouble with movement, posture, balance.
Well, and I've worked with a few people that are recovering from major, like one person had, they in their early 50s, they had a heart attack, and well, actually late 40s, and they think it's the result of a blood clot from a surgery that they had a few months earlier. So she was, basically she had died, and they did the whole CPR, and everything was shutting down and all of this and that. So I worked with her from basically Reiki, because that's all her body could tolerate,
Yeah.
to some essential oil work, a little bit of massage, moving to some restorative yoga, to a little bit more and a little bit more. So I've worked with people like that, or people that have had like frozen shoulders, etc. So and people just wanting to know more about how to do yoga correctly so that they remain injury free.
Did you enjoy that work with that client you just described?
Oh yeah, I love it all. I mean, because I and sometimes it sounds strange, but like there's some things that just come to me rather intuitively too, where I had one client recently I was doing some massage work on. She's been having a lot of trouble with her right hip, and she's been working with a PT, but we found that there was like about the size of maybe about the size of a softball or a grapefruit. I mean, that diameter, right? On the side of her hip or upper thigh. And I was working on it, and wasn't able to really get it softened. I used stones, I used massage, hot stones, massage machine. And so finally I just said, okay, it came to me to use, I have this sound bar. So it's a little piece of metal that's connected, suspended on a piece of wood. And it's got a very soft tone when you just tap it, but when you wang it, it's very sharp. It's very good for just breaking up that whole energetic stagnation stuff. And so that's what I drug out and used it. And I could hear the tonality of the bar change as I waved it over this adhesion. And she had been a 30-year OR nurse. And so I said, did you ever run into things? And she's like, you don't usually ask stupid questions, but that's one of them. So then after that, then the edges of this adhesion just sort of softened and melted.
Wow, that is great.
So that's the kind of, I mean, I have a multitude of tools.
Yeah.
I don't know how to consolidate it so that when, someone reads what I do,
Yeah.
they don't think I'm a whack job.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I do, Josie. But wow, let me just acknowledge what you've got to what you can offer people is a beautiful set of things: manual, sound, aroma, the coaching, the listening, the presence, all that goes together, and movement and mindfulness teaching. I'm sure if you teach yoga,
Yeah,
there's some mindfulness in there too.
Well,
I wish I lived closer to you because I can refer a lot of people to you.
Seattle. If you ever make it to Seattle.
Yeah, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So I just think it won't take you that much to put it together. I think I'm trying to think of something useful I can give you tonight, but and I will come up with something here. Just need a minute. But I think overall you need a framework to understand what it is that you have and how it can connect with the people that could most use and benefit from what you have. And it sounds like with the two examples you gave, that people who've had injuries or, are recovering from acute conditions, those might be the top of mind because they urgently want to get better. They know they're going to have to do something unusual. They can't just do their everyday life and get to where they want to go. They're going to need help. And if you live in Seattle, it seems like there's going to be tons of.
I live outside of Seattle. When I say Seattle, that's the airport, right?
Okay, yeah.
I live Tacoma, across the Tacoma Narrows Bridge.
Okay.
In a little, well, it's not so little anymore. It's like 10,000 people. It's Gig Harbor.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, I can certainly draw from Tacoma if people are willing to drive across the scary bridge.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly how to tap into the medical communities. I work with Christine Weber. She's a yoga teacher that has worked in the yoga and mental health intersection for about 30 years. And so she puts together some great information, but I just I look at it and I get overwhelmed because I don't know how to put it out there. I mean, she's got templates and everything because my schedule is so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a big challenge there, but I think there's a way you could do it. I want to see if anybody has any input for you. And I also want to invite you to something we have called the Marketing Lab. And what I'll tell you about it. It's every month we have 4 times that you can come and be part of this. It's a 1 hour. It's really a lab because you just bring your marketing questions and problems and we focus and go deep and help you make good experiments so you can have little tests that don't cost a lot, don't have a lot of risk involved. Do little tests and find out what can work for you. And that includes, with respect to your limits of time and your location and other things you have happening in your life. And it can help you go, pretty quickly into something that works. And those are Tuesday evenings at this same time, but on the second and fourth Tuesday at this time, and the second and fourth Saturday at 12 Central. So I guess that'd be 10 a.m. your time. And you can come to any or all of those. And the cost is $97 a month. So, $25 a shot if you come to all for it. We want to make it really reasonable and accessible. So if you'd like information about that, I can put a link in the chat. And yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. I work with each person. It's a very small group. So sometimes just 1 or 2 people, sometimes 4 or 5, but you get a lot of personal time for us to look at your materials, look at your opportunities in your community and all that.
Okay.
Does anybody have other suggestions for Josie? I'll get that link while you're thinking about it.
Josie, I just want to validate you. I don't think that any of what you said, like all the skills that you have in your tool belt, they all sound like they're related and really wonderful. So I don't think that you're gonna sound like a whack job. Um, even if you list everything that you could do, I think that's just like, wow, a really well-rounded, holistic
Well, I've had,
caregiver.
I've had 35, 40 years of putting stuff into the toolbox, I
Right.
mean, so that's the way that I look at it is, things that I've learned 25 years ago, it's still there,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and I think now probably more than ever, people are looking for more holistic type of care, right, in addition to traditional medicine. So I think you're, I think you're in the right spot and not at all sounding like a bog job. So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with what she just said. I also can relate to the overwhelm. And I think the best thing I've learned from like working with Sharon is just like this they take small imperfect action daily. And even if it's something super small that you think is benign, like it will add up and that momentum will grow. Um and just knowing, so yeah, and it's my whatever, it doesn't matter how long it takes, that I think just focusing in. And I liked how Sharon was able to pull out like kind of maybe starting with this target audience, right? And then even that can help you narrow and maybe get a little focused and just bite size focus there, and it will grow naturally. But because that's, I think, unless we have some kind of major funding coming in for us, like it's like really it's an
Yeah.
art to like navigate, like okay. And takes because I'm going through this right now as well, so, and just kind of surrendering, like okay, this is what I can do.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And I realize as I look at other people that are, online and you think, oh, sometimes you see the people that are like so massive, a gazillion followers and whatnot. And then I also realize that there's so many other little, people that are just like myself, that it's like you know, you just put it out there, and by not putting it out there, then the the treasure dies with me, right?
Yeah.
Um so and that was one of the things that I just had finally kind of clicked, that um the early stuff no one's gonna see anyway. you know the first videos, the first this, so um yeah, so
Yeah, Josie, I want to acknowledge you for hanging in for all the years you have to learn, keep learning, and then keep offering it, keep learning, keep offering it, and finding nursing jobs to pay the bills while you keep working your path that your soul and spirit wants so much to do. And so I know that you've got a ton to offer, and you're probably just missing a few small pieces that if you can get clarity on those, they'll connect the dots of all the other that you've got.
yeah, because eventually it would be nice to replace well, and part of it too is that I kind of foresee some shifts happening with the job that I have, because the curriculum developers, we don't actually create it. It's another company that creates it with the state, the Washington State Department of DSHS. So they are shifting it so that the 35 hours of lecture that we were delivering as instructors, they have created videos. And so we're just doing skills.
Mm,
So we'll see how long that actually works, but I mean, I mean, the developers are more, they're of a different mindset with learning than the traditional in classroom, and they don't really take in my opinion, they don't really take into consideration that not everybody learns online.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's so anyway, my demand for hours and my need may be diminishing probably towards the end of the year. I mean, it's not I'm going to be let go, because I'm the only one with the nurse delegation, so that's my job security. However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be working as much as I have been working the previous part of the year. So I'm kind of starting to, like, how can I develop what I want to develop to create that supplemental moving forward, because I'm 65, so I don't really, it's okay to do what I want to finally do.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for listening.
You're welcome. Jan, do you have something you'd like to share with Josie too? If you don't, it's okay. I'm just inviting you.
Nothing right now. I'm hoping, Josie, you will take the the advantage of the marketing labs, because they really help with getting the word out there, kind of how to do it and things like that. I'm really enjoying doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we still have a little bit of time. Oh, Yen is with us, and I got your message, Oh Yen, that said you were going to be a little bit busy, but you could still wanted to listen. Are you at a place yet where you would like to participate and share what's on your mind? Oh, I think she's dropped off the call. Yeah, she has. Okay. So good. So Jan and Maria, how about either of you? What's alive for you tonight?
I just have a quick question. I was curious what your take is on using, so for the workshops I've done, this company they send out their survey or read it and get feedback, right? Okay,
Excuse me, would you just say briefly what you do and who you serve so that everybody will
sure.
get to hear that context?
So I am an organizational wellness consultant, and I'm working with companies who want to reduce burnout and overwhelm for their employees. And I provide a whole person approach to education and consulting services. And so, yeah, this one company, I was wondering, like, to kind of use things as testimonials, but like from those responses that are anonymous, is that appropriate, or
Yeah.
do you need to ask the company first, like, oh, hey, because they send me the Survey Monkey link so I can see what people have been saying. And I was thinking, like, for the meditations I've been doing on a monthly basis, like, people have actually written, like, when I first got on this meditation, I was scattered, stressed, and by the end I felt really focused, and I could tell I was way more productive throughout the day, or something like that. So I was like, can I use that? Like, and it's just anonymous?
Yeah, anonymous, you can use that. Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if there are any rules around
I mean, you
that.
can also ask the company for their permission. Go with your internal ethics and your gut. But if it's anonymous and it's feedback for you from the evaluation forms, in my book, you totally could use it.
Okay. All right. That's helpful. That's all I got.
Okay.
Sharon, I don't know if you have a lot of doulas in your program that used to be RN, but this is a concern of mine. Going forward, I know how to, in my practice, delineate what my scope as a RN versus a doula. How do I, and so I haven't, in my practice, because I've just been doing certification work, so, going forward, I want to make sure that my clients know that I have the expertise of an RN, but I'm not acting as an RN. And how, do you know how that kind of works with my license? Like, get a little messy.
I actually do know a lot about that, and it's a really important thing that you're asking.
Okay.
And so I'm going to drop something in the chat here. This is a website,
Okay.
link to a page on my website. On that page, there's a couple of free workshop videos, like recorded workshops. And I think you and Josie might be interested in checking out those free videos. One's about getting more clients, how to do that, how to get your first or next 10 clients, has some marketing tips. And then the next one is about how to work with your inner saboteurs and the self-doubts that come up and things like that. So those are the two free ones. And then there's also one that you pay for. It's $37. So not big money here. And it's an hour about this very thing that you're talking about. It was a live workshop and I recorded it. And it walks you through how to look at your Nurse Practice Act and your scope of standards and keep your license safe while you're doing your business. And so I encourage you to check that out. And if you, oh, thank you, Maria. She says it was excellent. Then if you have questions, you can, ask me. I've got my email address in there. So I'm happy to entertain questions about that. Or you can keep coming back to these Tuesday night, free Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, we have this call too.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Jan, we have just a few more minutes. Do you have anything you want to bring out?
I guess I'm trying to continue to figure out which is my most lucrative, and because I have a passion both for caregivers and for financial. And so which one's gonna end up the biggest winner
Yeah.
in that? And I'm still working on that. I have one assignment by my mortgage guy to do a 50-word bio.
You gave me one for at one time. Do you want me to send it to you, or do you still have that one?
I still have it, but that was this is the financial guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You want to change it a little bit for that.
I'm gonna change things. So that's a project I'm headed for. I got all my goodies from my goodie bags for the caregiver
Good.
Group. And
we'll bring your bio to the next marketing lab that you come to, okay?
Right.
We'll help you.
And I guess the only other thing is, one of the things you said to me about doing a new brochure was to make it about the client. So and the client in this particular situation is someone needing financial coaching, not my caregiver coaching. I've already developed that one. So if anybody has any suggestions on what, if you were looking for a financial coaching, what would you see in a brochure that would make you think, hey, this is what I want, or this is the person I need?
while they're thinking about that, I'll give you a suggestion. And that is to think about the people you've already helped. And which one did you enjoy helping most? And then think what their answers to that question would be about what they were struggling with before they, and what they wanted instead. And that kind of thing. That would be good input into your brochure. You could basically write it for another person just like that, because they bought your program, you enjoyed working with them, you could duplicate them, you'd probably be pretty happy with it.
I guess one of my questions comes to mind is, are you working with people that are kind of new to financial planning? Or are you working with people who are experienced with it? Because I think they both have two different, you're coming at it from a very different perspective. Are you, it's like if you were learning how to bake, are you at the basic, like, let's make a little, sheet cake, or are we making those beautiful, like 3-tiered with the beautiful frosting and all the little flowers and the bleh, so who do you want to serve?
The beginners.
So okay, so how do you take the fear out of that first step? Because I remember when I was 20 some years old, I went to some financial thing when I was with my parents, and I was in my 20s, and they're batting around all these $10,000 and $50,000 and, all of these gargantuan numbers. Like me as a college student, I didn't have that. Not until years and years and years, probably 40 years later, somebody said to me, you could have started with $35 a month.
Great.
And so that is like the biggest roadblock, I think, to so many, and maybe I'm unique in that I think that, well, if I don't have $10,000 or $5,000, why should I ever talk to a financial planner? Because they're just going to laugh in my face because I don't have. I'd like to get there, but I don't know how. So if you want to work with beginners, that's my input.
Yeah, I agree with Josie. My husband and I have been working with a financial coach for maybe close to a year now. And one of the greatest things that she did for us was to, first of all, make it relatable to our life, right? Like, no talking about investments and all this other like gargantuan amounts of money that we didn't have. It was more like, okay, what are you doing in your everyday that's impacting your finances? And what's causing, issues for you personally? Let's start there. And it's just small things and like these habits that we were able to change and form throughout. I mean, that's just been the best thing that she did for us. And we kept her on, and we're gonna get to those later steps and investing and all that, but it's just starting out with the baby steps.
Was that helpful, Jan?
Very. I will work on that for the brochure.
Great.
I love my clients and seeing them win.
Yeah.
With their money. Love it. So it's just, I think, figuring out how to make that brochure relate to them so that they know what they can do.
Yeah.
In the future.
Great. And bring that to the marketing lab too, okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, so our time's about up. How about if we just go around for a moment and hear each person say one thing that they got out of the call tonight. And, or you can say what your next step, what you think your next step is going to be. Who wants to start?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
That all of the skill sets that I have all put together in my little Easter egg basket don't make me a wackadoodle, that it actually makes me a highly trained professional with a lot of skills in this
Absolutely. Yay.
basket.
Woohoo.
Absolutely.
I'll go. And then I'm gonna hop off immediately because I have another meeting. But thank you so much, everyone. Just knowing that small steps are big steps. So thank you for validating that. And yeah, just getting to know, my next step is just getting to know the mom that I'm gonna serve.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Sarah.
night. Thank you, guys.
Who else wants to go?
Well, I'll go ahead and go. My next steps are working on that bio and working on the brochure, which I appreciate all the input. And as always, I've been on these calls for a while. And as always, they were thoroughly enjoyable, but also very, very helpful, because we encourage one another and we got a lot more brains here than just one. I'm not going around and around myself. I'm got a lot more people to do work with.
Great. Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, I didn't talk about this in the call, but I think my next step I've been working on is to address my imposter piece that's been coming up. I've been working on this webinar for next week, and I was like, oh, I got these familiar. I haven't done one in a while, so I'm like, I'm a highly trained professional as well, right? Just telling myself.
Keep
And I'm
saying
gonna
that.
keep reminding myself that and go back to my testimonials and the comments that I have received to remind myself what people have said and what they took away from previous stuff I've done, and remind myself you're doing this again and you'll be fine. So that's what I got to work on.
Yay. Good self-coaching there, Maria. Thanks for sharing it with us. We all feel it, every time we go to a new level or do a new thing, it's right there. So, self-compassion and good coaching. Okay, wonderful. Well, I've had a great time here tonight. Thank you all for coming. Hope to see you again next month. So let's sign off. Okay, bye for now.